We are back. DraftKings DFS lineups, NFL Week 3. Last week, our lineup was actually pretty good. We built multiple lineups when we were live for this last week for Week 2. And we built two lineups. One was centered around Justin Fields. And I think we all know that one didn't go very well because he didn't do good at all. I don't even think he reached one fantasy point. But our other lineup, where it was Jalen Hurts and McCaffrey, Jamar Chase, some other guys were on there as well. That one did well. That one actually placed top 3 in one of my contest lineups and won some money. So these lineups are working well for us. That was our first placement prize lineup last week. Again, my first time, but kicking it off here at quarterback, Jaden Daniels is out. Obviously, Joe Burrow on IR. Brock Purdy has the questionable tag, but I'm pretty sure he's not going to play. This is for the Sunday main slate. If you're new here, we do the Sunday main slate. So the Chicago, they could upset. They could. When I did my weekly picks video a couple of days ago, I said the Bears could get the upset here. This is, the type of game that just feels like a Chicago upset. They don't want to fall to 0-3. It could happen. It could happen. I feel like Dak is one of those guys where he's much better at home. He's on the road here. I'm talking myself out of Dak. But do I really want to go with Caleb Williams? He does have the rushing upside. 24 points week 1, nearly 18 last week. 30 attempts, 35 attempts. 20 yards rushing, 50 yards rushing. He had the rushing touchdown week 1. I feel like he could get a rushing touchdown this week. Let's do this. We'll do what we did last week. We'll build a Dak lineup. We'll build a Caleb lineup. And we'll see which one we like more. Last week, we built a Jalen Hurts lineup and a Justin Fields lineup. We like the Jalen Hurts one more, and that one won cash for us. So let's see. Let's start off with a Caleb Williams build. That's cheap at $5,600 for quarterback. And like I said last week, as long as McCaffrey is under that 9K, 10K price in DraftKings, he needs to be in your lineup. He's going to get to the 9K, 10K price. So as long as he is not, he needs to be in the lineup. He's just 8,200 here. Looking at other running backs, Bucky Irving against the Jets. I expect Tampa to put that one away early. But the Jets, who did they play last week? The Bills. Yeah, James Cook had a good day. Jalen Warren had a good day in week 1. But 7,100 for Bucky, a little too pricey for me right now. Looking at other running backs here, Alvin Kamara obviously is always involved. He's like a guaranteed double-digit fantasy points because of his pass catching. 6,300 is not a bad price for him. Again, with that Dallas-Chicago team, it's got a high over-under. Both defenses are bad. Javonte Williams could be a nice play at 6,100. Jalen Warren against the New England defense. He's been involved. Double-digit fantasy points both weeks, and he's cheap at just 5,500. That Pittsburgh defense has been so bad against running backs. They let Kenneth Walker look good last week. They let Breece Hall look good in week 1. You could go with Ramondre at 5,300. Kenneth Walker seems like he's going to have that backfield to himself with no Charbonnet, who is doubtful to play. How much is Kenneth Walker here? And he's 5,800. That's decent price. So the running backs here further down the board, I'm not really liking so much. What is Quinshawn? Quinshawn's 5,000. It is going up against the tough Green Bay defense, but he was involved. He's listed as the RB1 now. Is he involved in the passing game? 3 targets. Okay. Quinshawn's a cheap play. I think I'm going to lean. No, Kenneth Walker, Jalen Warren. Kenneth Walker, Jalen Warren are really the ones I'm looking at right now. Jalen Warren's 5,500. Kenneth Walker's 58. Yeah, I think I'm going to do Jalen Warren. He's just been a easy, nearly 14 points a week so far. Receiver, we do have Caleb Williams, so I know I want the Roma Dunze stack. Justin Jefferson at 7,500 is cheap. I know Carson Wentz is playing, but I mean, the Bengals defense can't stop anybody. CeeDee Lamb at 8K, I would have that for the Dak lineup, for the Dak stack. JSN at 6,500, who's questionable now due to an illness. Oh no. Okay, well, hopefully that's not serious because I have him in a lot of redraft leagues. Brian Thomas at 6,400. He's had the targets, just not the production. I'm done with the Eagles receivers. They seem like they are going to struggle in their passing game. You could go with Pickens in that Chicago game because their defense is so bad and doesn't stop anybody. You could go with Pickens. McLaurin against the Raider defense. It is Mariota starting and not Jaden Daniels. So that gives some pause. Like I said, Odunze at 5,300. I want him in that Dallas game, especially since we have Caleb for that stack. You could go Romeo Dobbs and hope to just get a touchdown. I mean, he's been involved. They have no Jaden Reed now. He's a cheap, maybe flex play. Josh Downs could be a cheap flex play at 8 targets. I think he had limited snaps in week 1. Week 2, his snaps went up and he had 8 targets. I think I like Josh Downs as a flex play. I think I'm going to go Jefferson here. I know it's Carson Wentz starting, but I like to get a big-time player in there, so we can go Jefferson. Or what would it look like if we went Lamb, Jefferson, and where's Odunze? Odunze. We have 9,900 left. We could go with a cheap defense. The cheap defenses this week are the Browns, Jets, Saints, Raiders, Bengals. As far as cheap defenses go, I mean, if you believe in a possible Cleveland upset, you could run their defense, but I wouldn't do that in a prize lineup. You could do the Raider D against Mariota, although Mariota started for the Commanders last week and they didn't do so bad. Or I'm sorry, last season Mariota started a game for the Commanders and he didn't play bad. You could do the Bengals D against Carson Wentz. If I were to go cheap defense, I think that's actually where I would go. I'd go Bengals D against Carson Wentz and hope he throws a pick six or something. So we're going to slot in Bengals D here because we don't have much salary left. A cheap tight end play. We have 7,500 left. I said I wanted Dobbs in our flex. Or Downs. So that leaves us with 3,100 for a tight end. And at that point, we're looking at guys like Freiermuth, which is fine. AJ Barner, which is fine. Tonjes. I actually think I'd put Tonjes in there. Yeah. Oh, Musgrave if Kraft is out. He's expected to play. Okay. Any other tight ends here we like? I mean, the only guys I'd play here are Juwan and Bowers, but don't have the salary for them. So it's going to be Barner or Tonjes. I think it's going to be Tonjes. That leaves us with 200 salary. So if we took off the Bengals D, I mean, it doesn't really give us better options. Stick with the Bengals D. So I actually like this lineup. We get two stud receivers with Lamb and Jefferson. We get Odunze in there for the stack. We have McCaffrey, Jalen Warren. I actually like this lineup a lot. Let's see if we can best this and see if we like the Dak play better. So now we'll build a lineup with Dak. And let's just not do McCaffrey here. Let's spend a little bit down at running back. Other running backs we could play. Jonathan Taylor's been really good this season. He could be slotted in there. Kamara, Javonte, but I don't want too many Cowboys in the lineup. Kenneth Walker all alone in the backfield. Again, Jalen Warren, the cheap play. Okay. So I think for this lineup, I think I'm going to go Bijan and Kenbone or Kamara. See, Seattle allowed points to McCaffrey and Jalen Warren. New Orleans allowed points. They really didn't allow much points to James Conner. Yeah. I don't trust that Seattle offensive line. We'll go Kamara. And then we want the CD stack with Dak. We can't spend up with Jefferson because we spent up a little bit more at running back. What do we do? Is Kenbone 58? He is. He's going to have the backfield all to himself. Let's go Kenneth Walker. He's going to have the backfield all to himself. Saves us a lot of salary. So we got CD. I wonder if we can fit Jefferson in this lineup as well. If we didn't fit Jefferson in, I would go. I mean, Odunze, obviously, I want him in the lineup because he's so cheap. Hmm. And Brian Thomas, he's had the targets 7 and 12. Just the catches aren't the production's not there. The volume is, but the production's not. Could go Devontae, who's had really good volume, and maybe the Eagles put their best corner on Nakua. But I feel like that's going to be a defensive game. I would put JSN, but he's questionable with the illness. Can we fit? I don't know if we can fit Jefferson in the lineup. Okay, let's go Odunze and a cheaper receiver option. I mean, Cup would be a nice play if JSN was out at only 5K. He's going to be involved. He had 9 targets last week. If there's no JSN, Cooper Cup could be a nice play at just 5,000. And I'm basing this off of what if we spent up at tight end? What if we went with a Bowers and we went with a Romeo Dobbs and hope for a touchdown? For our defense, we still go the cheap Bengals. It leaves us with 3,900 for our flex. And that leaves us with guys we don't want. Alec Iomanner, he was in our lineup last week, was able to have a nice game. Yeah. I'm not liking this lineup as much as the Caleb Williams lineup. Yeah, I'm not liking it. Maybe we don't spend up for Bowers. So if we don't spend up for Bowers, and say we go someone like Juwan Johnson, and then our flex that leaves us 6,000. Wouldn't go double tight end there. I mean, a guy like Ted McMillan. Yeah. I'm just not really seeing a way that I will like this lineup. So if we take Juwan Johnson out, say we put in a Dallas Goedert. I mean, when he played, he had 7 targets. Quiet Siri. Yeah. I mean, I like the Caleb lineup much better, but let's just finish this one out. So I would put Juwan Johnson in, and in the flex with 6K left over, I'd probably put, like Ted McMillan, or maybe we put a Josh Downs. I think he's 4,400. Then we can just spend up at defense all the way we want. We can go with the Green Bay D or the Seattle D. At 3,600, and that leaves us with 400 salary. And at running back, 6,200 would leave us just 100 short of Kamara. Who's a 3,800 tight end? I mean, yeah, if we wanted Kamara in the lineup, and we went. What if we went Tonjes with this one as well? That leaves us with 900 salary, 5,700 for a receiver. Cooper Cup, if JSN's out, it's going to be a nice play at 5K, but we don't know yet. Getting a guy like Devontae in there. Yeah. If we spend down at D a little bit and go with the Indy D against the Titans, the Falcons D, which is a popular play this week against the Panthers, although I think they have a chance to win that game. Commander D against Geno Smith. There's some possible defenses here. The Jaguars D against that terrible Houston offensive line. They actually are a good DFS play. And that leaves us with 6,500 for a receiver. That would easily be JSN. Assuming he plays, this would be my DAC lineup. Assuming JSN plays with the illness, this would be the lineup. Now, it's actually closer than I thought, but I do prefer... Both lineups are actually good now. We were actually able to make this one look decent. But that's if JSN plays. If JSN doesn't play, we'd have to redo the lineup. If JSN doesn't play, I would take him out. I would put in Cup. Leaves us with 1,500. Can we spend up at tight end? We can go with a Tyler Warren. But then we have Tyler Warren and Josh Downs. So a 4,400 flex that's not Josh Downs could be not really seeing anybody here I like. Yeah, no. So it wouldn't be Tyler Warren. Wouldn't want double Saints in the lineup. About 4,900 flex. You could go Dobbs. Yeah. So this would be the lineup if, well, I think Tyler Warren at 4,400 is just a good price. I mean, getting him in the lineup. But, I mean, double Saints. What if we did... I know we're kind of switching it up a lot here, but what if we did... Don't want double Seahawks. What if we did Jalen Warren? And then Jawan Johnson? That's a 5,700 flex play. Wouldn't want double Steelers. Yeah. I like the Josh Downs play because he is a PPR guy. So, I mean, at least a 6,800 at running back, and I feel like it just has to be Kamara. I don't like leaving a lot of salary left over, because I feel like you can just make your team better. But do we go Genti? I mean, he said he wants to be involved more. Do they do it? Commander defense has been good against the run. Kamara. Hmm. Man, this is tough. This is tough. Steelers, week one, they allowed one of the Jets tight ends to score a touchdown. I believe they let AJ Barner score a touchdown last week. Yes, he did. So 2 straight weeks, the Steelers have allowed their opponent's tight end to score a touchdown. They're playing New England this week. So a Hunter Henry play to score a touchdown. At least this was 600 salary. Who would be a 5,000 flex play? Judkins, but no, because that Green Bay defense. Dobbs. I guess a 5,400. Yeah. I mean, 600 left over. If we took out Kamara, we could put a Chase Brown in there. But how does he do with Jake Browning and not Joe Burrow? I like the Kamara play. So I guess if we were to build this lineup, this is obviously redoing it with the JSN illness if he were to be out. But if JSN were to be in, how can we get JSN in this lineup actually? So JSN, no Kamara, and instead, oh, we're 100 short of Jalen Warren. We're 100 short. We're 100 short of Jalen Warren. Hmm. So maybe. No, I like Bijan. I like Bijan. Oh man, 100 short of Jalen Warren. Oh man, I wish this could be the lineup right here. I really do. Man, I really wish this could be the lineup. Damn, how can we save $100? We don't go Dak? Yeah, we'd have to not go Dak. We would have to go Caleb. But we're building a Dak lineup. We already built our Caleb lineup, but I mean, this one compared to the first one. We're swapping Bijan for McCaffrey, which is fine. We're swapping JSN for Justin Jefferson, which is fine. We're swapping the Jags D for the Bengals D, which is fine. And this is obviously if JSN plays. Who's a 4,300 flex play? Nobody good. So we'd have to go down $100 in defense, which at that point, we just go Bengals defense. Where are they? There they are. And we'd have 300 salary left over. So this is the Dak lineup with if JSN plays. I prefer the Caleb lineup we built first. But these are going to be the two lineups for this week. These are my two lineup for prize contests. Last week we were able to place and get money. So hopefully we can do that again this week. I do like our Caleb lineup better. But this Dak lineup's not bad either, assuming JSN plays with the illness. So that's going to do it for this one. Another week of DraftKings contest lineups. I hope you enjoyed. Enjoy the week of games. I hope your fantasy teams and DFS teams do really well. But until then, I will see you guys next time.